The fight for gratitude. Anchoring joy, prayer, and thanksgiving in life and leadership. Paul's words to the Thessalonian church are deceptively simple. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. At first glance, it feels almost naive. Joy, always. Gratitude in all circumstances. But here's the truth. Paul wasn't speaking from the comfort of success or safety. He wrote to a young community facing cultural resistance, persecution, and uncertainty. These were people with every reason to be discouraged. Instead, Paul challenged them to cultivate a posture of joy, prayer, and thanksgiving as their way of life. This wasn't a feel-good suggestion. It was survival. It was strategy. It was a declaration of spiritual resilience that still has teeth in today's world, whether you're navigating your personal struggles or leading a business through seasons of disruption. The easy road. Cynicism. Let's be honest. Cynicism is always waiting in the wings. It feels like the easy way out when plans crumble, when people disappoint you, or when the world doesn't live up to your expectations. In business, cynicism becomes that voice that says, "Why bother? This will never work in life," it whispers. "People don't change. Don't get your hopes up." And if we're not careful, cynicism calcifies. We become judges instead of learners, critics instead of creators, arrogant instead of humble. But Paul's words cut through cynicism like light piercing the dark. Gratitude isn't the denial of reality. It's the defiance of despair. It's a disciplined choice to focus on what God is doing, what is still good, what can still grow. The antidote: gratitude. Here's the shift. Gratitude pulls our focus off ourselves and places it on God's grace. Joy recognizes His presence. Prayer keeps the connection alive. Together, they form the antidote to bitterness and the engine of resilience. Think of it like a leader navigating a storm. A cynical leader scans the horizon for what's broken and magnifies the chaos. But a grateful leader looks for opportunities, blessings, and lessons, even in the waves. The storm doesn't disappear, but the perspective changes. And that shift makes all the difference in how the crew survives. The same is true for your personal life. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending the storm isn't real. It means acknowledging it and choosing to see the God who holds you steady in the middle of it. 3 anchors for the soul. Let's break this down into the 3 commands Paul gives. Rejoice always. Joy isn't emotional fluff. It's rooted in God's grace. It's the reminder that no matter how unstable circumstances are, there is always a reason to celebrate God's presence. Pray continually. This isn't about nonstop talking. It's about unbroken awareness. It's the discipline of inviting God into your day-to-day, keeping your attention lifted instead of consumed by yourself. Give thanks in all circumstances. Gratitude is not about approving of the situation. It's about discovering God's fingerprints in it. Gratitude reframes obstacles as opportunities and keeps bitterness from taking root. Notice the pattern. Joy looks up, prayer leans in, thanksgiving looks around. Together, they create the atmosphere of a healthy, spirit-led life and a healthy, purpose-driven business. The professional edge of gratitude. You might wonder, how does this play out in my work? The answer is everywhere. A leader who chooses gratitude creates a culture where cynicism loses its grip. Teams become more resilient when they are led by someone who sees beyond problems to possibilities. Gratitude is contagious. It shifts conversations from blame to creativity, from what's missing to what's possible. Think of a meeting where someone highlights what's going wrong. That matters. But if it's the only lens, the team suffocates under negativity. Now imagine that same meeting where a leader names the challenge, but also points to 3 things worth celebrating, 2 lessons worth learning, and 1 opportunity worth seizing. The energy in the room changes instantly. Gratitude fuels innovation. Cynicism kills it. The relational gift of gratitude. Relationally, gratitude disarms conflict. When you approach a colleague, spouse, or friend with a thankful heart, judgment loses its edge. You stop evaluating others for what they aren't and start appreciating them for what they are. That shift can rescue marriages, heal friendships, and transform toxic workplace dynamics. Here's the tension. Gratitude costs us our pride. To say thank you is to admit dependence. To rejoice in hard times is to admit we're not in control. To pray continually is to admit we need God's nearness. But this humility is where true strength is found, in life and in leadership. Living God's will in real time. Perhaps the most striking truth here is this. Paul says these practices are God's will. We often stress about our future, what career to pursue, what decisions to make, and what direction to take. But here, God's will is made astonishingly clear. His will is not just about what you do, but about how you live, with joy, prayer, and gratitude. This simplifies and sharpens our focus. Your purpose is not waiting in some hidden corner. It's here, in the way you posture your heart daily. The challenge for today. So, let me mentor and challenge you here. Cynicism will always feel like the easy option. But it's a trap. If you want to grow spiritually, relationally, and professionally, you must fight for gratefulness. You must lead yourself first, through joy, prayer, and thanksgiving, before you can lead anyone else. Because the world doesn't just need more skilled leaders, it needs more grateful ones. And your life doesn't just need more success, it needs more joy. So here's your call to action. Today, name one place where cynicism has taken root, in your thoughts, in your work, and in your relationships. Then, deliberately replace it with gratitude. Pray into it. Rejoice in God's grace over it. And watch how that single act begins to shift everything.